The net zero low traffic neighborhoods are becoming extremely dangerous in our country, as we now have a situation where ambulances are getting stuck because many roads are blocked thanks to our green leftist authorities. Now, this channel has become the go-to source for you guys for the everyday updates on net zero and all these crazy measures, from the low traffic neighborhoods, the 15-minute cities, the ultra low emission zones, the clean air zones, this and that, all the watermelon nonsense. Green on the outside, communist red on the inside. Now, this whole thing is partly it's ridiculous, partly now it's dangerous. Because it's not just about local commuters driving and they're not allowed to drive anymore. It's not just about a mother who wants to take a child to school. It's also now about ambulances. Ambulances, public services, they are now struggling. Recently, look at this photo. That's a perfect example of a low traffic neighborhood. As you can see in front of the ambulance, you've got that little thing that's blocking the road, right? So they have to turn right. I mean, it makes no sense, but okay. It also is creating more pollution and more traffic, which is ironic. 240 ambulances recently been delayed by the LTN schemes. I mean, it's not really normal, is it? I mean, I would have thought that at least the essential public services would be able to get around it, because I think we were promised that. I thought they told us that it's not going to affect, for example, ambulances or the police, but clearly not. Mainly because they're not really updating on a regular basis what's going on, all these changes on these roads. So even ambulances get stuck because they don't know where to go. 240 delays recently, proper delays, not your normal NHS delays, because that's a whole different problem. NHS is always delayed anyway. That's just on top of the normal everyday delays that the lovely NHS always does. But even those who want to work hard, they can't. Now, Greg Smith, the local MP, so this most of his problems, by the way, when it comes to Oxfordshire and Buckinghamshire, is huge. So when it comes to Buckinghamshire, you've got MPs like Greg Smith has been saying, by preventing ambulances getting to the emergency that they're attending, LTNs are clearly dangerous. It's an extraordinary waste of money that people are paying their taxes for schemes that stop them from being able to live their lives by going to work, a hospital appointment, or doing their school run. And the sad reality is we only have a few politicians, and they happen to be conservative politicians like Greg Smith, who are calling this out. Where are the other socialists? Well, the so-called socialists who care about local communities. Do you remember when the socialists used to be pro the community spirit and the trade union movement, the working classes and each local area? All that's gone now. It's just full of wet liberal globalists running their socialist agenda. And they want to have the hardcore Marxist agenda at the same time liberal wokeism, which is an oxymoron, but also it goes hand in hand because of the ideology that was created mostly in the 20th century, post-Karl Marx in the West, to be able to promote cultural Marxism by completely undermining the values of the Western civilization. So we have a couple of examples of in which areas we've had these delays when it comes to ambulances. For example, Southwark recently had 69 delays. Enfield has had 43 delays. And even in Ealing, we've had 19 delays. It's absolutely sad to even talk about this news story that is actually affecting ambulances. This photo shows the ambulance with the road closure sign that is basically LTN. They're stuck. They have to get out, and they have to probably walk all the way from there to someone's house. Now, Taxpayers Alliance, they came out to say that residents will be horrified that LTNs are delaying ambulances. These schemes aren't just making cash cows out of motorists, they are also potentially endangering lives. Local authorities should put the brakes on these divisive schemes, which is quite fascinating when you've had some politicians and even some in the media under pressure to come out to criticize a Just Stop Oil or Insulate Britain when they were blocking the roads. Remember? Yeah, because of all the public pressure, some politicians and some media were talking about it, saying, yeah, this is probably not a constructive move. We still agree with your motives. We are still very green and pro net zero, but these tactics are probably dangerous. They came out and criticized Just Stop Oil. They criticized Insulate Britain and Extinction Rebellion. But they seem to be turning a blind eye when it comes to local authorities or mayors like Andy Burnham or Sadiq Khan doing these things because they say, well, this is a policy that people voted for. Who on earth voted for this? Nobody voted for this. Nobody actually had an actual debate during the election times to say, if you vote for me, I'm going to destroy your roads and I'm going to stop your ambulances from coming to your home and hospitals. Do you think people would have voted for that? If they come out and be honest with the public in election times, and if the public still vote for them, then it's down to the voters. Then we could blame the voters. It's our fault. We still voted for them because we're stupid. But we're not, because they didn't tell us this. They lie and they say, would you like clean air and clean water? People say, yeah. So, good, vote for me. But they're not going to tell you what they're going to do next, are they? That's the whole tactics that the politicians use on a regular basis. That's how they win power. Anyway, these are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.